matter of the people of the state of California versus Orenthal James Simpson, case number BA096.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you.
Boom, there we go. We are recording. Taylor, hi, how are you?
Good. I'm not. I'm very, very,
I
very
know.
high stress. Um, but we did have friends over for Thanksgiving and they brought me flowers, which was super nice. And they had a eucalyptus like branch in it. And the flowers are all dead, but the eucalyptus I have in my office, it just smells so fucking good in here. It's just wonderful. So I'm very grateful for that.
What a great little gift. And it probably
Yeah.
doesn't die, does it?
It's like like I have it in water, but I think even when it dries, it still smells for a while, you know?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
just smells so good. It's so nice. So I just feel like a little bit calm here in my office. A little calm. I'm not very calm, but I'm like a little calm.
Yeah, I can. My stuff hasn't been as crazy as yours, but the holiday. So I just got back from Dallas, and then like 2 hours after I got back, my cousin came in town to visit because he was in San Antonio. So then I was hosting him, which was great. But like again, when people are around, you gotta like do stuff. Like there isn't
Yeah.
like a ton of going back into your own routine. So it's like 20 days or 10 days in Dallas, 2 weeks followed by this, and after this recording is where I'm gonna actually have my first like just breath after
Good.
so
Good
much
for
family
you.
time. I'm not like you. I'm not like surrounded by people 24/7. So the muscle doesn't exist for me the way it does for you.
It's so funny. I feel like during putting on perfume too, I'm just like making this. If I had some say, oh, I have some liquid sage. I might do later. Um, like during COVID, when we were like all like very, very remote, I knew a lot of people who were single, and they were like, yeah, when I get offline, I'm just like by myself, and I'm like, you're by yourself? Like, I'm like, I want to be myself so badly. I don't know what to do.
Do you still want to be by yourself? I mean, you haven't been by yourself in so long.
I know. I mean, like I did like with my some of my friends, they host like a women's retreat every year, and we did a couple days in Arizona in like October, and that was super fun. So it was like I had 3 nights in a hotel by myself and like met with my girlfriends during the day. But like this coming up week, I have a work trip, and I'll have 5 nights in a hotel room by myself. Shut up. I'm bringing 3 suitcases because I'm driving in and have a 24 case of Diet Coke in my trunk. Like I'm ready.
That's
Ready to
awesome.
go.
That's
Yeah,
awesome. The hotel on work conferences, like that is the respite. Like that is
yeah.
you have to get that whole situation figured out and as comfortable as possible so you're able to be on when you're out during the day and night.
Exactly, exactly. I'm planning like naps and then like changing into something else and then going to like a cocktail party every night. So it'll be fun. I have stress dreams about it, but it'll be fine. I'm
I know.
charming.
You know what it is, Taylor? You know what it is? I think here's what I had to like come to grips with myself. It's the fact that you have that followed by the holiday plans
Hmm.
where I think what it's doing to your nerves is just like it's like there is no line of sight towards just like normal life. And I think
There
that's what
isn't.
is because same thing happened to me when I had my Utah trip, followed by the England trip, followed by Mexico, I guess. Whatever
Yeah,
it was. I just told myself, listen, it's going to be 1.5 months of just no line of sight towards
yeah,
normalcy, and you just got to
yeah.
accept it.
Yep, that's 100% where I'm in. And then every time this year, then I'm like, oh, then the whole fucking year starts over again, and we start like new sports and new this, and then it's cookies, and then it's the summer. Like, what am I supposed to do? Yeah. I mean, I'm glad to be alive. It just a never
That's
ending.
that's a nice little capstone to like this scream you just let out. I'm glad to be alive. Yes, I'm glad you're alive as well.
Thank you.
Well, do you want to intro us?
Yes, hello. Welcome to Doomed to Fail. We bring you historical disasters and failures and interesting stories. And I'm Taylor, joined by Farce.
And we are going to be covering an interesting Taylor story today.
We are. Hey, you know what day it is?
Sunday?
I know, but of the year.
No.
It's December 7th. It's Pearl
Well,
Harbor Day.
yeah, okay.
Isn't that exciting?
Why is that exciting?
It's Pearl Harbor Day.
Oh, wait, today was
December 7th, 1941. Yeah.
the day that would live in infamy. Yep,
hmm
yep.
hmm hmm Um, it's always exciting when it's Pearl Harbor Day. Um, and I have a World War II story that I hadn't really heard in really ever. So I have a World War II story to tell you. I got to this story because Florence, who is 11. Was watching The Mask. When's the last time you saw The Mask? Was it recently?
It's been a very long time. Although one thing on my Instagram feed that popped up was Cameron Diaz's audition for The Mask,
Oh,
and I was like, wow,
she's so
I was
pretty.
so young. She was, yeah. I mean, she's still very pretty, but like I was like, yeah, I was very small. I had to be like 7 years old when that came out.
I know she's super young in it. Everyone is. Florence also lost her mind when she found out that Jim Carrey was also the Grinch. She was like, no way, that's the same guy. She goes, he's one of my
He's a good
favorite
actor.
actors. I was like, I know, girl, he's
Yeah,
great.
wait till you discover Ace Ventura.
I know. I feel like we can maybe do that in a little bit. She likes obviously he's in like all the Sonic movies too, and he's funny in that,
Yeah.
doing like his regular Jim Carrey thing. Anyway, Florence watching The Mask, which is great, and they sing the song "Hey Pachuco." Do you remember that part of The Mask?
No, I haven't
So
seen
like,
it in a very long time.
there's a part where he's like in an alley and he like summons an entire band, and they sing like a big
Yes, I
song, and they go,
remember.
the only words in the song are "Hey Pachuco," and they yell back, "Hey Pachuco." And there's also a song called "The Zoot Suit Riot" by Cherry Pop and Daddies. Have you heard that
Yep.
song?
Yep,
They're about
absolutely.
the same thing. In the Zoot Suit Riot song, they say, Zoot Suit Riot, throw back a bottle of beer, Zoot Suit Riot, pull comb through coal black hair. Because both those songs are based on a real thing that happened in 1943, which are the Zoot Suit Riots in
I
downtown Los
did.
Angeles.
I did know this.
And I'm going to downtown Los Angeles, so it's all coming together for me. So let me
Very
tell you what happened.
timely.
Yeah. Do you know what a Zoot Suit is?
Yeah, they're like oversized but well-tailored,
Yeah.
highly stylized suits.
Yes. Like your jacket is big, but but it fits you, and it's like long, like almost to your knees. And then the pants are like big pants and like tapered at the bottom.
Yes.
Um, so I put together a comprehensive list of people that look good in a zoot suit, and it's final. So I'll let you know. Number one, African American jazz singers in the 1940s. They're the ones who started the trend. They look good in them.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Thought it was the Latin community that did that, but all right.
Um, Number two, Mexican Americans who got the zoot suit from the jazz community in the 1940s. They also look good. Number three, Jim Carrey's character in The Mask when he is the mask. Not when he's the
He is
regular
wearing a
guy,
zoot
but when
suit.
he is the mask. He looks good in it. And then number four is Michael Jordan, probably. And that's it.
I don't think Michael Jordan wears zoot suits. I think he's just has insane
I
proportions.
think so too, but I think he has like a little bit of like the 90s suit was like a smidge of a zoot suit. Like,
Maybe. But
like
if you look up like bodybuilders in suits, they all look like they're wearing suits. But I think it's because their bodies are just like weirdly proportioned.
I feel like there's some picture I saw recently that was like the NBA draft top guys from like 1994, and like just the amount of fabric in the suits was insane
Oh
that they
yeah.
were wearing. You know what I mean? It was just like these huge suits, and it's hilarious. So, that's it. Don't wear a zoot suit unless you're one of those four people or two groups of
I
people,
don't know if
typically.
anybody is eagerly attempting
I don't
to.
think so. I just wanted to like preemptively talk them out of it
Okay,
in case
fair.
anybody got any ideas. So it's 1943 and things are tense in America because of World War II, and we are in California. It is June of 1943. Everybody is stressed out and scared, and like tensions are like super high. And let me tell you why and what happens. So, June 1943 are the Zoot Suit Riots. In February 1942, FDR, with Executive Order 9066, that was the internment of Japanese Americans.
Yep.
So with that order, Japanese Americans went into internment camps because they were seen as a security threat, all those things. But then they don't have enough people to work on the fields and to do like agricultural things and like to work the jobs that the Japanese people had been working when they were allowed to live like regular Americans, which they were. So because of that, there was a program called the Bracero program where Mexican citizens were brought into the United States to work under contracts. So there's a huge influx of Mexicans into America during this time, specifically because of the labor shortage, because the Japanese Americans are all taken away.
I did not
So
know any of this.
yeah, so there's more Mexicans in Los Angeles than ever before. And like so really that like there were obviously like California was a part of Mexico and all of those things. So there were always Mexican people here. Southern California is like, full of missions and like all kinds of like, Mexican history. But there's this like extra boost of them um in like 1942, 1943 because of this program. So a the Mexican Americans who were targeted in the Zoot Suit riots were called Pachucos from the song earlier. But Pachuco just means like flashy, rude person who wears a zoot suit. It's like a nickname, Like it's
It's
not like a
like
direct
John
trans.
Leguizamo, basically.
Yes.
John Leguizamo in his like 20s and 30s. In Romeo and Juliet, John Leguizamo.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Um, whenever I, the only thing I think of when I think of that, of him in that movie is when he goes, "Peace. I hate the word, as I hate hell, all Montagues and thee." It's the only line from Romeo and Juliet I know, but I love it. Anyway, yes, that's exactly the vibe we're going for. So the trend came from African American jazz people who are wearing those cool suits. It is a way to like, when things are bad, it is a way to like fashion is often a way to express yourself. Like you can like make your clothes more colorful. You can, put on extra accessories, like things like that that like can make things seem less bad because things are bad. It's 1940s America, you know?
Right.
Um, so it's a way to kind of stand out, kind of like a mini gangster, masculine kind of thing to be able to like wear this like flashy suit. And it starts to make people nervous, like they're like, what are they doing? What are they conspiring? Why are they all dressed the same? Like everything. Like at my local bowling alley, it says no gang symbols, no motorcycle cuts. And I'm like, is that happening at the bowling alley? Like, I just don't
I
think so.
would, your area would not shock me if there's motorcycle gangs.
But like, are they hurting each other? Like, is it like a problem? Is it a
I
real
don't
problem?
know. Would you
Like,
want to be in a bar with a bunch of Hell's Angels? Like, I
I mean,
don't.
like, I don't know. Like, I just don't feel like it's as big of a problem as people think it is. I actually saw a clip recently from the mayor of Baltimore. Someone asked him if someone wearing blue was a Crip, and the mayor was like, "That's the stupidest fucking question I've ever heard in my life." Like, you're allowed to wear blue. What is wrong with you? So anyway, people are nervous. They're seeing all these like young Mexican dudes, and they're young, like late teens, early 20s Mexican dudes, kind of like roaming the streets together after work in their cool zoot suits. So in 1942, there's a murder in LA. A young man named Jose Guiardo Diaz was found dying near a reservoir in Commerce, California on August 2nd, 1942. So that's like LA also is like cut with a river and reservoirs and
Yep.
like so if you've ever been there, like the LA River is like literally just like it's the thing in Greece where they have the like the car race. It just looks like that, except when it rains, it actually can turn into a raging river. We should talk about how they've ruined the actual LA River sometime.
Which also, I've never seen that thing filled with water as long as I lived there.
I've seen it. I've seen it because I used to drive over it to Glendale when I worked in Glendale, and there was a couple times where it was a raging fucking river because it was raining so hard.
Interesting.
Yeah, um, but but Jose is found dying, and he dies some days later. Um, they're say the story is that he was at a party and some other guys. So everyone in the story is Mexican. A bunch of other guys came in. They were like mad about something else. So just like infighting people, whatever. They're fighting with each other, and they got in a fight. It's unclear exactly how Jose died. Like, he had blunt force trauma to his head. He could have been attacked, or it could have been a car accident. Like, could have fallen out of a vehicle as it was driving. Like so many different things could have happened, but there's no evidence for anyone who actually like who actually what person could have done it or like exactly what happened. It's just that they found this guy, he was dying, and then he died. So they rounded up 600 young Mexican men because they're like it must be like a Mexican on Mexican crime,
You mean
and
LAPD?
yeah, the LAPD. And they arrested 22 men. There was no bail. They went like directly to jail. And after the trial, which was really quick, 12 of them were sent to San Quentin for second-degree murder, and the rest were sent to the LA County Jail. So they were all found guilty in one way or another. And then by 1944, they all got out on appeal because the case was bullshit. So like they were in jail for 2 years, like for the actual crime, and then afterwards there was like really no evidence. They couldn't figure out who actually did it. And they don't even know what actually happened, and then they'll never know. But that like helped heighten the tensions in LA. So we have an LA that is full of a whole bunch of Mexican people who are new basically because of this bill, because we need more people to work in like different jobs in America. And we have a shit ton of servicemen because it's World War II. And they are stationed at like bases around LA, on ships, like at the port in LA, like all around. And there's like 50,000 of them that on the weekends come into the city because they're off, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like an influx of all of these men in, and they're riled up because they're like scared shitless because they're all like 18 to 21 mostly. They come from, a lot of them come from like these really, really rural places and like segregated South places. So they're coming in with a bunch of like assumptions. They're scared. They're babies, you know, all of the things. Um, and they would see things like they'd see these Mexican dudes in their zoot suits talking to white women and they'd get pissed, you know? Or they'd be like, oh, like this Mexican woman seduced me and stole my money, you know, when you're like, you're probably just drunk, you know what I mean? And like stuff like that. So there's a lot of shit talking and fighting on both sides because they're like, you know, we're different. We don't understand each other. We're trying to socialize in these same places and it's just like not working. And the media is saying that there's all of this Mexican youth gang terror happening. And there's all this zoot suit crime happening around the city, kind of like escalating the way that like the white servicemen are feeling about the Mexicans who are there. There is crime on both sides. Like there are obviously cases of like the servicemen coming into the city and getting drunk and getting robbed by the Zoot Suit guys. Like that's definitely happening, but it's not like this huge like youth gang terror crime rate wave that the LA Times is saying it is, you know?
Yeah, you can actually literally just take race out of it and say a bunch of 18 to 20-year-olds who look different are populating the same area. Like
I know,
the fact that we
exactly.
think an 18-year-old boy is a man, or even a 20-year-old boy is a man, like it
No.
is, yeah, like those people's brains are only thinking about one thing.
Yeah, like they live with their mom until like yesterday, you know, and then
Yeah.
now they think that they're cool because they have their like little Navy uniform and like yeah, that is cool, and you're probably gonna die, so like we should feel like I'm sorry. You know, like it's not good. And
Yeah.
so that's happening. Tension, tension, tension. We're in LA. So on May 30th, 1943, this is like the first day of the riots. Here's what happens. So a group of white sailors and soldiers and like military men, they see a bunch of Mexican Americans in downtown LA. I'm assuming this is like when downtown LA was relatively fine. Like it seems like the 40s must have been
Yeah.
its time, you know?
Yeah, Skid Row wasn't that big of a thing back then. It really, we talked about it before, where the laws that banned mental institutions is
Hmm.
what led to Skid Row being what it was, but that wasn't until
Hmm.
the 80s, so it was
Yeah.
probably okay.
And a lot of like the architecture, I think in downtown LA that is nice is it feels like 1940s, like Art Deco.
Yeah, it's when the Cecil went up.
40s. Yeah. So I think it's like it's full of hope and promise. The downtown LA of now is not, but it used to be. So, they get into a fight, these two groups of kids, and a U.S. sailor named Joe Dacey Coleman, he got in the middle of the fight somehow, and he gets knocked unconscious. And then the sailors were kind of beaten back. Some of them say they were ambushed. No one really knows. Like, was there a woman there? They're not sure. But what we do know is that Joe Dacey Coleman was injured. They got him to like back to the Navy hospital, and he was fine. So, but it started this idea that like the Zoot Suit guys, gang guys, are coming to attack us specifically, and it's starting to happen. You know, because these two like small groups got into this fight, and someone actually got like hurt. So people are starting to like spread this rumor that like things are getting more aggressive, that the Mexicans are going to start attacking people, like all those things. So the riots really start a couple days later on June 3rd through 5th, 1943. So 50 sailors from the Chavez Ravine Naval Armory decide to go hunting for Zoot Suiters to avenge the attack on Coleman on June 3rd. So they have like a 1940s street gang without the snapping think like West Side Story dancing because they have like pipes and like baseball bats, and they're just like going out like ready to like anybody who's wearing a zoot suit specifically, they want to fight. You
I
know,
will
there's like
say this is a little bit cuter than our modern times when everybody just pulls out a gun and starts shooting you.
I do very much imagine them singing, but I don't feel like they would want that. But you know what I mean.
They probably weren't in
They,
sync.
they probably weren't, but like you know. So also everyone in the story in my mind is like 5'4". I don't know why
Oh, of course, of course.
no
Yeah,
one's
back
tall in this.
then they were all short. Yeah,
But I'm like all these like, you know, if you were a Navy guy wearing like a Navy sailor suit from 1943, you're like 5'5" at best.
of course.
Um, so I'm picturing everybody little. But so they go out and they're like, we're gonna go out and hunt and find these guys. They went to a Mexican neighborhood and starting to like see if they could find anybody. They couldn't find anybody to fight. You know, when you're like, I want to fight someone, people are like, what? Like
Yeah.
people, no one like wanted to fight them. And they ended up at a theater in downtown LA called the Coleman. No, the Coleman was the guy, the Carmen Theater. So there was a movie showing in this movie theater, and they turned on the lights and they were like, we want to fight everybody in a zoot suit. So the first actual people who were hurt, no one died in these riots. In the end, 150 people like are injured, but luckily no one died.
Also,
Um,
all these guys probably had like 14 schnapses or something. Like, like they
yeah,
probably had like some low alcoholic beer, but they're from Ohio, so they've never had a beer before. And yeah,
yes. They're definitely drunk. There's,
right. This is a drunk plan. That's the whole
yes.
thing.
100%. It's a drug plan. Yes. So the first victims are two boys, 12 and 13, who happened to be in the theater, and my research said they were wearing minor versions of the zoot suit.
That's so cute.
Oh, poor little Pachucos. I bet they were just so freaking cute. Like trying to like do their hair with like their mom's cooking oil. You know what I mean? Like I can just like imagine how freaking cute they were. But they took their zoot suits off of them and they like they'd like pee on them and like burn them. Like a lot during the story, which is so sad. So they like, ripped off these cutie patooties, I can only assume, 4 feet tall at best. These two 12-year-olds in their zoot suits. And they stood there and beat them up. Which is terrible. Then they went down they just continued to go through downtown to look for more people. And then they eventually people were like involved in the Navy were like, we should start arresting these guys who were kind of out of control. And then the Navy intervened and said, no, we're not going to log any arrests. Like no one was arrested for anything, no consequences. They just like were like, guys, you got to go home. And they went home. The LAPD through the whole entire thing like didn't really do anything. Like one LAPD officer said later, quote, you can say that the cops had a hands-off policy during the riots. We represented public opinion. Many of us were in the World War, and we're not going to pick on these kids in the service. You know?
I
So they're
mean,
like,
also LAPD's reputation 50 years later was incredibly racist. I can't imagine what it was in the 1940s
yeah, when everyone is racist.
when everybody was racist.
Yeah. No, totally. So the LAPD really didn't do much. What they would usually, the only people who were arrested were the Mexicans as they were like, started to fight back. So someone would get like beaten to the ground and not be able to stand up, and then they get arrested because they couldn't run. You know, like those are the people that ended up being arrested. Um, the cops would round up suspects for vagrancy or rioting. One night they arrested like 200 minorities, like youths. Many of them weren't even wearing zoot suits. And then, you know, twice as many servicemen are doing the exact same thing and
Right.
they're not arrested, you know? So the next couple days it kept going. So every night these guys would leave their barracks and come out and look for people wearing zoot suits. And they would charter fleets of cabs around LA. Like, we're going to be on the lookout for guys in zoot suits, so we're going to get them, you know?
You know
Just
what I
like,
kind of imagine here is like there is something to your adrenaline system knowing you're about to go to war, but you
yeah.
don't know when, but you know that there's this horrible thing that's about to happen.
Yeah.
And there's I can see a need to have to like dissipate that
Hmm.
and like feel like you're gonna be tough enough going into the thing you're going into. Like, I don't know, this because this sounds like again, it just sounds like the scheming of a bunch of dumb 18-year-olds, but also they're probably like scared shitless and are like trying to not seem scared shitless. They're gonna look like
Absolutely.
badasses by going and picking up a bunch of people that didn't deserve it.
Absolutely. And I think that like I'm as a white person, I am the first person to be like, it's these fucking white dudes' fault, you know? But like, also, like, they're children about to go to war, and everyone's racist, and they're scared shitless, you know? Like,
Yeah.
all things are changing. They needed therapy. They didn't need to like riot. They needed to
Right.
like talk to
Yes.
someone, you know? But I mean, but as we know, they came home and they also did not get their therapy, and here we are. So like, it wasn't great for them at all. Yeah, you're
Right.
totally right. Like everyone is scared in this story. Even the
Yeah.
baddies,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
the guys who are like they're scared. Um, so, they are obviously, but they're obviously like, anyone wearing a zoot suit, anyone Mexican, like they're going to try to assault those people, which is very, very racist, like clearly, like based on race. Sometimes they would, like a couple African Americans and Filipino Americans were hurt as well, but it was mostly Mexicans. And then also on the side are a bunch of white civilian people egging on the service people, like the military guys. So they're like, yeah, like what about like literally watching it like a picnic. Like they're
Yeah, of
watching people
course.
have this riot and they're like egging on these guys to have this. So there's a whole bunch of stuff. They would go into houses. They would just like hunt for people. They were all around like East LA, Boyle Heights, just trying to find guys. They were like looking for specific gangs, which like wasn't really a thing, They were just like trying, like it's like a group of your friends, you know, but like 10
Did LA
dudes
not
together
have gangs back then?
is a gang. I mean, like I think that like the word gangster is like a 1920s name, but like I don't know
Street
what that
street
means.
gangs though. Street gangs is
Yeah.
different. Like what you're talking about.
I mean,
Um,
yes, because of West Side Story is like but I don't know. It's as best as I can get for you.
yeah, I don't know either. I would assume there had to be something, but who knows?
Yeah. So they're, it's escalating and it's been a whole bunch of days. So they by June 6th and 7th, this is really where it's like the actual like worst of it. But it's like several thousand soldiers, civilians, people just like beating the shit out of anyone that they can find. And it's like just continues to get worse. So now people from the military all over have like heard about it and they're coming in from Vegas or coming in from San Diego because they want to join. And again, I think you're right to like do something. You got to like fight out that tension.
Yeah.
Um, So now any young man who is not white, especially if they're wearing a zoot suit, they're going to get the shit beat out of them. There was like one Russian kid who was beat up because he was trying to protect his Mexican friends, like one, um, one 12-year-old boy, like he has a quote being like, why are they fighting us? Like they don't understand. Like we're supposed to be at this war and like we're fighting each other here. So by June 7th, over 200 Mexicans have been jailed. Um, Almost no civilians or servicemen have been jailed, like really ever. Um, they the paper and like the media is like these are the riots. It's because that the Mexicans started it, of course, and all these things. So finally, it's like out of control, and it's June 8th. It's been like almost a week, and it's so widespread, and the publicity is really bad. Which is finally when they start to like be like, okay, we can't have this happening here in our city. Like people are gonna like feel like it's unsafe. So they finally put out a order or whatever that all servicemen have to go home. They have to go to their barracks and stay there, which they should have done a while ago, because
Yeah.
they're like driving around beating people up. They finally have to do that. And so everybody has to go back to their boats, back to their places or whatever. They had people come back. Like it's like some folks that kind of like combing through downtown and like finding the military guys who were like stuck in bars and like whatever and being like, go home, go home, go home, go home. This is over. Um, so a Navy memo from June 8th, which is like our last day, said, quote, there were hundreds of servicemen prowling downtown LA on the prowl for Mexicans. Groups from 10 to 150 strong were roaming and would scatter when shore patrol approached. Someone would come and be like, you guys have to go home. They'd like run, because they're just like probably have like a black eye and a baseball bat. And they're just
Yeah.
like really
It
like
was
riled up.
obvious what they were trying to do or were in the process
Yeah.
of doing.
So finally, on June 8th is when the LAPD is like, okay, they call all of the reserve cops in so that people can go in and they can finally be like, hey, let's stop this, like stop doing things. By June 8th, like there were very few guys in zoot suits out on the street anyway. They were like either the zoot suit had been taken off of them and destroyed, or they were like, why would I wear that outside? I'm gonna get beat up.
Right.
So like, of course, there aren't as many people out there to do it. So, um, June 9th, the mayor met with the Navy and they were like, okay, we have to keep the guys like in their in their barracks for a little bit longer. Um, I wrote in all caps, this is fucking silly. But on June 9th, the LA City Council passed an emergency resolution banning the wearing of zoot suits on city streets. Like that was the problem.
That's wild.
Like, oh, if we're beating up guys in zoot suits, then it's definitely the zoot
The
suits
zoot
that are the
suits, that's the
problem.
problem. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so if we just like don't wear those, then
Well,
like
they
everything will be
probably,
fine.
I would assume there's some underlying intent behind that. They probably try to designate them as like a criminal gang, and the
Exactly.
affiliation was the zoot suit itself,
That's why you can't wear your motorcycle cut at the Yucca Valley bowling alley.
which I kind of agree with.
I don't feel like it's an issue currently, but like I don't know. I've watched Sons of Anarchy, but I've seen zero gangs. But whatever. The point is, if you wear a zoot suit in public now, you can get punished by a $10 fine or 30 days in jail,
You mean
which is
today?
no, but that was like after. I'm sure
Back then, okay.
that cannot no longer be a rule, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
Don't
know
test
either.
it unless you're Michael Jordan or Jim Carrey in the mask. So we'll never know.
We'll never know. Yeah,
I'm telling you not to do
unfortunately.
it. So by mid-June, things are okay. Things get better. The military is like, oh, there's a couple people who were like, thoughtless and, did some stuff that was wrong, but it was like hundreds and thousands of people. It
Yeah.
wasn't like a couple people. On June 15th, they were allowed back into LA, and trying to get people to be like, stop doing this, like start being nicer to each other. We cannot have these like roving gangs of military men beating people up. It's bad. It's a bad look. Um, the governor had a special committee to like investigate and see what happens. And basically, like the Navy was like, they were looking for like some excitement. They needed something to do, you know? And you're like, yeah, but you shouldn't be a roving gang of like racists beating people up, people, you know. Um, eventually, no one really got no one got court-martialed, no one got in trouble, for it. It just kind of like happened. The media was the whole time was just like, oh, it was goons and zoot suits that started this. We needed to clean up gang-based crime anyway, and like there wasn't zero crime, but it wasn't like, well, also like it's not your job to do that.
Right, right,
You know what I mean? Like, if there is crime in the city, then like the city should take care of it. It's not like the military man on base's job to take care of it. So
right.
all of that. Um, the mayor who at the time of LA insisted that there was no racial discrimination involved. People were like, okay, well, that's like 100% not true. And then
LA's so weird.
like, what are you even talking about? And then our dear Eleanor Roosevelt, who we love, in her column My Day, we just talked about. So if you're just joining us, Eleanor Roosevelt, who is wonderful, wrote a column called My Day, where every day she would write a column of what she was doing, like basically to like humanize herself and like be there for the American people during the war. She's amazing. And in her column, she said, you know, this quote goes deeper than just the suits. She's like, it's a racial protest. Like it is because of race, and people in LA were really upset about that. Like the people in charge were, because they were like, can't believe she said that about this race riot we just had. You're like, can't,
LA,
I also can't believe
man.
it. One
Yeah.
of many of LA.
It's like that's what it's so interesting because when I think of LA, I mean, I've lived there for so long. You think of like Hollywood, wildfires, and race riots. It's like
Yeah,
the
love to do
Mad
it.
Lib is the top three things.
We laugh or we would cry. Um, but that's it. No one died, luckily. The Zoot Suit actually, this is, I don't know, kind of sad because I kind of like it. It went out of fashion, because of like the discrimination and like all those things, but also because they had to ration fabric for the war. I think about that a lot recently. I was thinking about like, imagine if the government was like, we need your pots and pans to build bombs. Everybody did it. Like they did that. Isn't that
Yeah,
wild? Like I just
yeah,
can't. Or they're like, oh, like you're like I took my in-laws and my kids to the. We have like a airplane museum in Palm Springs and it's awesome. You can like get into planes. You can see. I sent you pictures
yeah.
because like that awesome like stealth jet fighter and like it's so cool. But they had like a a wedding gown made out of a parachute because people would like repurpose parachutes after they were no longer used to be able to make their clothes because that's where the fabric came from in the first place, you know?
That's
Like
wild.
imagine like being out of those things. Like I feel like we can't contemplate that in like today's America, but like not like, oh, I can't afford butter, but like there is no butter, you know? Stuff like
Yeah.
that. So that was part of the reason that it kind of like came out of fashion. Um, but um, but yeah, it was like a just like a really like, and I've also imagined it was like hot because it was June, you know, and like it happened at night, like in the dark. So I just like picture this like kind of misty, dark June, everyone's scared, no one knows what's going to happen. You know, like it's the smack dab middle of World War II, and we're sending kids over there, and Mexico sent a bunch of kids here to, work jobs here, and I don't know, it sucks. Everyone's scared. I'm glad no one died.
Yeah, I would imagine there's a lot of really good movies about this because the Art Deco scenery, like that's what I
Hmm.
think is like the most interesting part to me is like when if you try to imagine what this
Hmm.
looked like, I mean it had to look so cool. Like Art Deco
Oh,
LA in the 40s with zoot suits and I don't know, military gear on. Like I don't it just
there's there's one, and I did not see it, but I should, called Zoot Suit, starring Edward James Olmos
of
from
course.
1981. So I should watch that. Did you ever watch um it looks like the movie has the Sleepy Lagoon murder trial, which was a murder we talked about in the beginning, and the riots, so it covers the whole thing. So I probably should have watched this, but um you can watch it. But did you ever watch 30 Rock?
No.
There's one part where they have so many fun one-liners, and one of them mentioned that they have a friend who's an Edward James Olmos impersonator named Edward James Olmost. It's like, I always think about that when I hear his name because it's the funniest idea I've ever heard. Like, it's so good. I think that's like the only one.
Interesting.
Yeah,
There's
because
so
I
much
mean,
material though, just the fabrics and the art and the
I
buildings
know.
and
Yeah, like an LA Confidential vibe, but like from like
like
the Mexican American
Chinatown.
side. Yes, exactly.
Like Chinatown's great because it is like set in this timeline.
Like if you're in downtown LA ever, if you look like 10 feet above the ground, it's very beautiful. You know, if you look at like the current storefronts and the ground, you'll be like, this is disgusting. But if you look up, you'll see like, oh, these buildings are really gorgeous.
Or if you're there after the sun's been baking and you smell, God, just downtown is a whole thing. I was gonna tell you, Taylor, when you're there, remember, I know you know this already, but again, remember, if anybody's like, oh, we could just walk somewhere, like
I
they want
know.
to go somewhere, never do it. Like zoom out, make sure you're not walking through Skid Row.
1,000%. I actually chat GPT'd. I was like, what places can I go to that are safe to walk to? And like, and it like gave me some options, and some of them it like literally wrote in parentheses like, it's okay to take an Uber to this place if you're wearing heels, which was like very nice of ChatGPT to know me that well.
Yes.
But no, totally. I don't want to like leave my little nice hotel bubble, which
Yeah, yeah,
is
yeah. Don't do
terrible but
that.
true. But
Don't do that.
we were there for so long.
We know
You
what
know,
it's
check
like.
out our Cecil Hotel episode for how much fun we had in
Yes.
downtown LA.
Yes.
I can't even imagine. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. I thought it was fun. I love those two songs about the Zoot Suit Riot. God, do you remember when everybody was doing swing in the 90s?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
My girlfriend Indica and I went to a swing class and like at like the college for some reason, and we both wore like she had great shoes. So I had these like great like wooden heels on and I had this like flowy skirt and like we both looked awesome, and then we get there and of course there's like all those assholes who take it really seriously, so they're all wearing like jeans and like bandanas in their hair and they're really mad at us. We were like, and Indica's a great dancer. She's like a technically skilled ballerina, and I'm like, hey, blah, blah, blah. And it was hilarious. And we never went back because everyone was so mad at us.
I wanted to
We were
learn
like,
certain
hello.
dancing. Like I took a bachata class here in Austin,
I don't know what the
and
bachata is. What's a
it's like
bachata?
salsa. It's like a different version of salsa. Like I
Mm,
went. It was in this like actual studio for teaching and all that, and everybody was like, it wasn't fun. It was so
mm.
like everybody was there for a reason, and it was like to
Right, they're
practice
very
their skills.
serious.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't want to do this ever again. This kind of sucks.
That's fair. I think you have to do like um a with like your friends, like I don't want anybody who's trying to like win Dancing with the Stars. I just want to like I would love to go to a wedding and like know how to dance well, you know.
Right.
I just like dance with my husband like we're in high school. I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, me
Like
neither.
I'd like to know more.
Yeah.
Like that's basically it. So if you want to host that class, let us know. We will attend.
When you're
That
here in
sounds really fun.
February, we'll sign up.
Oh my God, that'd be really fun. Take a dance class. It'd be hilarious. It'd be
We
like,
just we just have some we just go there. We'd have a few cocktails and go there and have a good time. And then they can get mad at us and it's gonna be
I
fun.
know. It's like everyone would be so mad at us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not a
It's
safe
definitely the
space.
vibe.
You have to get a zoot suit.
You gotta get yeah. I think I could pull it off. I think I'm the
I
right
don't know.
complexion
I'll
to pull it
consider
off.
adding you to my list if I see it, but I'll have to let you know.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, do we have any listener mail?
I do have a bunch. Um, by the way, you can email us, doomtofellpod@gmail.com, or you can Instagram us and just say hello. Um, we pronounced the name of Terrence Watanabe incorrectly in our show about
What is
Oriental
it?
trading. It is Watanabe. I think you said Watanabe,
Watanabe?
but it's Watanabe. Each
I just
syllable.
go off of aliens, Watami
Mm,
Wayland, you know?
But my cousin Lindsay, who speaks Japanese and is our J Japan expert, um, sent me an email. She said, Watanabe. Each syllable has a full vowel. Same as the last
Watanabe.
name as Ken Watanabe, the actor.
Interesting. Okay. I was really hoping that Terrence himself listened and wrote in, but okay, this is good too.
No, I would have called you. I think
Yes.
that happened. But she was excited because she also got a lot of shit from Oriental trading when she was a kid,
Oh, nice.
as us white people did, I guess.
Yes.
Um, So that's from Lindsay. And then our friend Kiara sent in an email with a suggestion. Thank you. It's so awesome. And then Nadine, our other friend, messaged in just to remind everyone that therapy is good. Because I think one episode you were like, "Man, fuck it, don't do therapy." And she just wanted us to double down and like take care of your mental health.
Okay, can I do a qualifying statement here?
Yes, please.
I'm a firm believer that if you sit and dwell on things, you are creating permanent foundations for those in your mind.
That's not what therapy is.
Okay, but if you we're gonna disagree on this,
No, but
but
it's okay if that's been your experience with therapy, I guess.
yeah, yeah, well, no, my experience with therapy, like I thought it was good, but not in the way that it is kind of put together because the incentive structures are such that you should never get better, and nobody wants you to actually get better because the economic incentives are such that you continue going. So there is no end conclusion
I
to
don't
it.
think that's
And
true. Our couples therapist said, "I think you guys are fine."
okay, you know what? I'm painting with a broad brush. I'm painting with a broad brush because my experience with it was I was like, this guy's gonna
No.
lift $150 off me
Which I'm sure
every two
happens.
weeks
Of course.
until I
Yes.
die.
Yes. And people do go forever, but it's like exercising. Like you should always do it
But
because you're
okay.
exercising your mental health. Okay, well, I'm very pro therapy. If you don't feel good, talk to someone. Take some
No, no,
pills. I
yeah,
take
yeah, yeah,
pills and I
no.
love them.
Look, of course, like if you have experienced things, you need to get that out of your head. Sometimes family and friends are in a safe place. Obviously, that is good. My only point is like when every single person is like, I think the analogy I used was like they didn't get a pony when they turned 16 and now they have to go to therapy because they're traumatized. Like it's like okay, like at some point, somebody you have to have a backbone. Like you gotta be able to stand on your own 2 feet eventually.
Yes, sure. Sure. And your therapist would help you do that. That's their job. But I get that maybe sometimes that wouldn't happen.
I also think the Iranian mind is impervious to therapy. I think there is
Mm,
something
it
to
could be a
that
cultural thing
where
too.
like we're so used to compartmentalizing all of our lives and thoughts and everything that it's
Well, I
just
see
like
I see that a therapist would tell you not to do that and that would make you uncomfortable.
yeah, it's like what do you know?
Exactly.
There we go.
Cool. Well, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Please send us an email. Send me an email this week because I'm stressed out. So tell me how you're stressed out, and we'll get through these fucking holidays together.
Amen. Thank
Amen.
you, Taylor.
Thank you. doomtofellpod@gmail.com. Doomtofellpod on all the socials. I'm not doing great at posting to our socials, but I'm like posting
It's
a little
fine.
bit at a
Life is
time.
crazy. We're
Um,
gonna have passes.
yeah, so it's out there. But please tell your friends. Tell people. We'd love to hear from more folks. And yeah, that's all I have. I'm
Sweet.
drinking this whiskey in a can from Trader Joe's. It's pretty good. This is a whiskey mule bourbon whiskey in this beautiful can.
Whiskey in a can is also another version of therapy.
There you go.
There you go.
It's gonna help me through this evening so I don't murder anyone.
There you go.
Also, shout out to my husband for being very nice to me when I'm like very close to killing everybody in my house.
Thank
I
you, Juan.
appreciate his calmness and being very positive about me as a person. It's just like very needed, or I would lose my mind. So
Thank
thank
you
you,
for
Juan.
sparing all of us, Juan. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off. Thank you,
Perfect.
Taylor.